Nancy is,
Yes.
okay. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to open up the public comment at 6 o'clock. So today we have student recognition. I see all of you out there. Girls varsity volleyball. Miss Sarah, where is she?
I'd like to help celebrate our state champions that are here this evening. We'll have you kind of give an overview.
So the volleyball program had an amazing year from start to finish. The JV team was undefeated in their regular season, and then they lost in the championship game at the JV tournament. But their regular season they were undefeated, and they had a really, really, really good year. And then the varsity team had an amazing season, captivated by a state championship, but they went 18-1 throughout the course of the season. Their one loss was to Somersworth High School, and they lost in 3 straight sets. They were all close, but they lost in 3 straight sets. And then they went to the finals, and they beat Somersworth in 3 straight sets to win the championship.
I knew they won in 3 straight.
So it was just unbelievable. They if you could have seen the match, it was amazing. Their bodies were flying all over the court. I'm fairly certain I'll probably need to replace some of their jerseys because I'm sure they wore holes in the elbows because they were diving and they just gave it their all, and everybody played a part, and it was truly amazing. So well done, coaches, team.
I'd like to give you your moment in the sun. Would you like to shake hands and I can try to pass these off to you? Excellent. So we're going to have you come up. Maybe we can clear a little space here. We have Delaney Sleeper.
They have their championship medals on as well.
I saw that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have Tori Stewart.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We have Marissa Anastasio.
Congratulations. Thank you.
We have Emily Doda.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have Haley Doda.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. We have Cecilia Hornkel. I might need a little help. Cecilia? We'll make sure we get that to her. Alyssa Snow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We have Laura Cove. Congratulations. We have Cameron Clark.
Congratulations.
We have Meadow True. And we have Kira Moynihan.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kira. And we have Lindsay Chamberlain. Well, congratulations to you for an incredible accomplishment and for really it is incredible. The program of volleyball within the Interlake School District is truly just incredibly well done, and that takes everybody's effort and commitment. So thank you to everybody for for a great season. Congratulations. We have more to celebrate.
So next we have.
Madam Chair, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to add, a championship is no small thing. And the manner in which this team won that championship showed that they had composure and played as a team. And I think that shouldn't be understated. I think it's a fantastic job and congratulations. It's great.
Lakers. Okay,
So,
you want to do the next
no,
one?
you can go right
So,
ahead.
so Beth Doda, Division III Coach of the Year.
And just to add a little bit to that, that nomination and award was by her peers from all around the Division III Coaches Association. So,
Quite an accommodation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you. And thank you, Randy.
And we do have a certificate for Randy Matson as well for coaching the state champions. And I do just want to make sure that Jordan Durand is not here this evening. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. And
Rebecca is here.
Becca Nesbitt as well.
Becca is.
Oh, Becca is. Oh, good. Okay. I apologize. And we didn't miss any other volleyball players. I just want to make sure. Perfect.
So here's the other ones.
We have enough. Perfect.
Put them together.
And we have another celebration.
So we have Ronan Hurd, Meet of Champions.
So Ronan ran in the D3 state cross country race at Fairfield Park, which is known to be one of the top 15 most challenging courses in the United States. And Ronan placed 14th in Division III at that state race, which qualified him to run in the Meet of Champions, which was held the following week at Elburn High School. So, great
Quite an
job.
accomplishment.
Right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, the day that he placed 14th, the between the Division I, II, III, and IV state races, there were 6 student athletes that ended up going by ambulance to the emergency room because it was that heat. It was that heat wave, and
Wow.
so to place 14th on that day was quite an accomplishment.
Well done. Congratulations. We have one more athletic, and she's not here this evening, but I did want to at least acknowledge Isabel Ford. She has been our athletic trainer, which is a contracted service, but you would never know that. Izzy has been part of the very fabric of Interlakes, right there supporting for whatever competition, whatever practice. I do recall getting an email from, I think it was someone from NHIAA, that she had jumped in, and it was an away game and was right there for a medical emergency, and she will be greatly missed. My understanding is she is going onto a spot that's going to help her further her career, but we did want to at least give her a thank you that you can pass along. We do have sports awards on Wednesday night, which is tomorrow night.
And we're recognizing her as well there because she's been an instrumental part of the athletic department, and she's gonna be missed a great deal. But wish her well. She's going to the University of Kentucky to become the lead trainer for the women's basketball program. So it's a phenomenal opportunity. But that just shows how lucky we were to have her here. So
Kentucky.
we're gonna miss her.
And everyone is welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but you will not offend if you would like to head home either. So,
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. Thanks for everything. Well,
They have to do homework.
I assume to know the girls are Beth's.
yes. and her son was on, I believe online, Joey was
Oh,
online,
nice.
father was online. Son goes to Plymouth State.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. So next on the agenda, student representative update. Caleb.
So tomorrow, the math team will be competing at Newfound for their second math meet of the year. Recently, the Laker Bots competed at the Battle of the Bay, ranking 17th and advancing to the semifinals. Granite State Challenge is coming up, and Interlakes is putting together a team. Mr. Heyman, Mr. McLeod, and Madame Bedford are organizing this. And there will be 6 students going down to Plymouth State High School this weekend for the qualifying test. Student Council has organized a card drive for actively deployed members of the armed forces. And the students and staff at ILMHS have made over 250 cards to send out to them. Mr. Snyder has installed a weather station that reports live weather at the high school. And you can see that at the end of the 7th grade hallway. Mr. May organized an ultimate dodgeball fundraiser for the veterans. On November 13th, 7 teams competed, and that was all for a good cause. Winter athletic tryouts have begun, and athletics will begin soon. And tomorrow, November 15th, we have our fall athlete recognition at 6 p.m.
I did want to just share that the dodgeball tournament was to raise money for, to give to Humble Grunt to help with the memorial that they're working on.
Wonderful.
So we hope maybe annually something can be done that will at least contribute to Humble Grunt to help honor veterans.
That's great. Okay. Do we have any public input so far? I'm just checking.
I don't have any online.
Okay. All
I'm
right,
not sure.
we'll proceed. Minutes, the October 24th special school board meeting minutes. Motion to approve the minutes of October 24th.
So moved.
You and Mark
Thank you,
in charge.
Jennifer.
Whoa.
Is there any corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain if
Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
it's, yeah.
So,
I'm okay. I'll say aye.
Good, that makes
Did
did
4.
you abstain too, or did you
No,
go?
I'll say aye.
Okay.
They look good.
So current bills payable, general operating expenses, attachment number 2. Motion to approve the payments of the manifest, what number is it? Thank you, 3011. Sure.
My name is on there for 108244. I didn't intend to be reimbursed for that. I have a very efficient administrative assistant, so it was something I wanted to do for staff that had some loss. So you can deduct that.
Alright. So we have
I have a question though. There's a lot of membership fees that are on this. Who do those go to? Are those to particular teachers or to a group? How do
So-
we use those?
New Hampshire, or NHASP is the New Hampshire Association for School Principals. New Hampshire ASCD is New Hampshire Association of Supervision and Curriculum Development. So that's probably an administrator, curriculum related.
Okay.
NHIDA, I'm afraid I can't do that one or the other one, but we can certainly get that information for you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we generally just have them associated with the person that's employed or with the group, so that everybody gets to use that membership. group.
They're usually associated with an individual.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Is there a motion to approve the
So moved.
manifest? Duncan, is there a second?
I'll second.
Siobhan? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 You, Charlie. Thank you. All right, superintendent reports, enrollment, Mrs. Moriarty.
So our enrollment is just up a hair, nothing remarkable to report.
Okay. Food service update, attachment number 4.
So I just want to highlight for a moment, as you recall, we did change vendors. Last year was our first year. Through that process, we have typically always had a food service program that has been self-sufficient. That is not always the case in all districts. We do have something that's called a food service fund. So monies that are taken in through the food service program that are less what the costs are, then get to sit in that fund. That fund does have a lot of restrictions on it, and it is definitely overseen by the New Hampshire Department of Education, the Food and Nutrition Program, which is also then related to the U.S. federal level relative to food programs. We did end up in the negative for the food service program last year. You cannot end up in the negative. You have to, those funds are either raised by your local taxes, or in this case, what we have proposed is that the fund, food service fund, be used to make up that difference. A lot of factors were that we had less students accessing the food. Whenever you do change, there can be a shift. I think also we were coming off of having had free lunch for everybody, and that seems to have changed, I think, habits. Although people, were getting the free lunch, it seems they didn't, participation didn't sustain with that change. So we anticipate this year also having to make up a gap between the cost and what we take in. We are hopeful that the food service fund will be allowed by the Department of Ed to be able to cover this particular gap. We're not sure they will let us do that a second year, so that may be money we have to find through the general fund. And it is certainly something that we are watching very closely in terms of participation rate and trying to have lots of conversations with the company. But we do want you to be aware that, this is a significant change for us, and it may be something that is a trend moving forward that's going to need to be incorporated into the budgeting process.
I guess I do have some
Yes,
questions, if I could, Madam Chair. This whole food service fund, we talked about it probably
2 months.
2 months ago, yeah, right? Where there were some contract issues with this vendor and everything. So is this covering those contract issues? Or
So
how
the
did you
contract
do it?
issue, and that may be something we want to discuss in non-public. This is this falls into what we would be obligated by the contract.
Okay,
Our hope had been we had a sustainable food program.
right.
And I think also maybe the way that the company has communicated with us certainly came at a very slow rate, that this was a big change. So I think those might be some conversations just related to contract that might fall outside of public.
Okay.
Question. On the contract side, is the current vendor under a termed contract, 2 years, 3 years?
So it's a 5-year contract.
But we do have to submit an annual contract. So it's
To the Department of Ed for
Department of Ed
approval.
For approval.
Second question, what I don't understand is if on July 1st of '22, we had a fund balance, 211,000, and what you were proposing is to cover it potentially, if you can, out of that, the shortfall, 63,000. Why wouldn't you be able to? Is that a ETF that has special directives?
It has special constraints that has an awful lot of federal regulations that then drive down through the state. So what I believe I understand is probably the first time writing a letter asking for like a special opportunity to use it for this. What they typically want you to use it for are you're buying new cafeteria tables, which we have done. You're buying a freezer. You're buying equipment related to the food service program. It does not appear that they want that to become your ongoing savings account to make up any difference between what you bring in and what the cost is.
Seems like it would be more of a savings account if I'm keeping it just for capital investment purposes.
And they will only allow you to hold a certain amount. So last year we had, learned of it reaching a point that they wanted us to do some spend down on it before we knew how the difference was going to be. And that's where you see that replacement equipment. So that supported
yep.
new tables.
Thank you.
So it's heavily regulated, I guess is the piece. And, it's a bear to learn, but we're working our way through it.
And historically, we've always been able to balance it out.
I think that's the piece that I think the board needs to be, like, we're very, very concerned that we had a program that always was sustainable by itself. Other districts have had to budget, to be able to offset that difference. But this is a big change for us.
I think I too would like to discuss this further in a non-public.
And I'm doing that under oath because of reputation and
Sure.
the
No, I
contract piece.
appreciate
So I
that.
just want to make sure people understand why I would consider that maybe
Absolutely.
a non-public item.
Fall athletic summary.
So as you heard earlier, we did have a very successful fall season. We had 259 fall athletes ranging in grades 6 through 12. We had 113 athletes in grades 6, 7, and 8, and then 146 athletes for the fall in grades 9 through 12. There were 21 paid coaches for those 259 athletes, 8 paid coaches at the middle school level, 13 at the high school level. We had 5 volunteer coaches work with our athletes this fall season, 3 at the middle school and 2 at the high school. And we had 184 athletic events, 56 at the middle school and 128 at the high school. The middle school numbers are a little lower than usual because schools, including Interlakes, we had some transportation issues, which we had to cancel a few events, both home because the other teams couldn't get here and because we couldn't get there as well. So that middle school number is a little lower than it typically is. But 259 athletes and 184 contests so far this year.
Question?
Yep.
Sarah, did you get any pushback from teams that you had to call and say, hey, we can't? I mean, pushback from the standpoint that they may not want to be on the schedule with us.
Not really, because for the first time, it's not isolated. There were, I can't even tell you how many districts that were in the same exact situation. There just aren't enough drivers to go around the state. And it's a national shortage, and New Hampshire is not exempt, and it's becoming an increasingly more difficult situation to deal with. So
One of the ways that I think we can, in the future, help solve it is by having 2 additional Laker activity vehicles. Because we might be able to then get a whole team that we can transport. Granted, they won't be on the same bus, but that has helped having that, even just to bring equipment. When we've been able to get a bus for the football team and have a lot of equipment, being able to put it in the lab has assisted. So I think it seems to me that maybe part of the future of being able to deal with these shortages is just what can you free yourself up from?
How many teachers are now certified?
I recently put that in a Friday Focus and I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll have to look that back up. But we're very grateful for the people who have taken it on.
Moving on to new business, region number 8, Hewitt and Winnisquam Regional Agreement. That's attachment 5.
So you have, in your packet, you have the agreement, that is with the, Region 8, school districts, for the Hewitt Technical Center. And I just wanted to, the goal is that this is a chance for you to have an opportunity to review it. Ms. Connolly attended a recent RAB meeting, which is a Regional Advisory Board of the Hewitt. And so the goal will be that each of the school districts are looking at it this month and hopefully will consider signing it in December. There's nothing that's really new here. What I would say is going to be kind of a change coming up in 2025. Winnisquam is expanding, and we'll have some different programming, one of them being cosmetology. Thank you. I keep wanting to say cosmetology. Cosmetology, which can often be in a well sought after program. So the difficulty is from Interlakes to Winnisquam it's by bus it takes 15 minutes.
5-0.
Yeah, so that's just something to that is a little bit challenging from a scheduling standpoint. We do have 42 students right now at the Hewitt, 23 last year, and 32 the year before. So we have an increased enrollment there. Right now we have 6 at Winnisquam. Last year we had 2, and the year before we had 1. I did send out just some supplemental information. I think it's at your table. It looks the white staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to bring awareness. So last year, our costs for transportation for the Hewitt, we added a bus last year or run in the middle so that we could do the 3 opportunities during the day for students to access programming. We spent almost $92,000 in transportation for the Hewitt, and for the agricultural program, we spent about $43,500. So a total of just over $135,000. The state does provide some support for transportation for CTE programs, but it's very limited. So they reimbursed us about $10,000. Which worked out to about a 7% reimbursement rate. And I had this information at the ready because the state I think some people trying to improve that for CTE programs and sending schools. We're looking for some information this summer to bring forward to the Department of Education. So it's something to just kind of be in tune with, that there is a little bit of reimbursement, but it's very small.
And per capita costs are much higher at Winnisquam than Hewitt. In that category.
Yeah.
You're sending 3 for 40 and.
Well, exactly, yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, just one
Yes.
question, I guess. Mary, on the key changes in this, what is Newfound Regional? Is going to be a new member?
So Newfound has joined the region.
Okay, so.
And the reason that's beneficial, it does help, sometimes some programs would lag in attendance and then they'd have to fall off. So it's just a way of strengthening.
Okay, so we don't have any worry of class sizes being too full for students? with
No.
the addition?
No, they do a good job. They do all work together to try to provide slots. Putting in the extra bus, while the extra run in the middle of the day, so that we have all 3 opportunities has been beneficial too, because we used to only do 2.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Under new business, the proposed interim plan for ILES, we're going to discuss that in non-public due to 91A:3 2C. Matters of, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person. So that's going to be discussed in non-public this evening.
And you can make the motion then after in public.
Yes, in
That will
public,
work.
we can make the motion, but we'll discuss that in non-public this evening. Okay, and now we're going on to donations. There's several donations. So we need a motion to accept the following donations with gratitude. And these are to be applied to the after prom party, student activity club, and used specifically for future activities within that club, correct?
And we also have, so on the original agenda, there are donations, and on the addendum.
Right, so I guess we'll do the donations for the after prom first. Is that
Wonderful.
okay? Donations from EM Heath in the amount of $250. Donation from the Meredith Police Association for $250. Donation from Bryant Paving for $250. Donation from Ippolito's Furniture for $250. Donations from Edward J. DeTola DDS in the amount of $400. Donation from Hayward and Company in the amount of $500. Donation from William and Carolyn Richards of Meredith in the amount of $600. And then to be used to help purchase championship jackets for the 2023 varsity volleyball team. Donation from Sarah Parent and Kurt Snow in the amount of $500. Did I miss anything?
The one from the
On that
police,
list.
Did I miss one?
right above the, one you just said, donation from the Meredith Police Association, amount of $500 to be used for the purchase of championship jackets for the 2023 varsity
I
volleyball.
don't think,
And there was and snow pros.
where's Smith Rose?
That's on the original agenda.
Oh, I see, I'm sorry.
I think you were thinking of doing them two separate.
Yeah, I was
I'm
doing them
sorry.
two separate, that's
Sorry about
okay. So we need a motion for that one, and then I'll get to the other ones.
So moved.
Second. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
So-
It jumps out of the roof.
Okay, and then the following, as Duncan pointed out, donation from the Meredith Police Association in the amount of $500 to be used to help purchase championship jackets for the 2023 varsity volleyball team, and donation from the New Hampshire Snow Pros in the amount of $500 to be used to help purchase championship jackets for the 2023 varsity volleyball team.
So moved.
Thank you, Duncan.
Second.
Siobhan, please.
Let's have Jennifer have it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, so we have all that. Now, memorandum to Meredith Village Savings Bank.
So we just need, going around for the board is just to sign, we have some change of people on the accounts, and we just need the board to
I have a signature
Sign.
copy.
put
That's
authority.
right.
Oh,
It's
you
right
already
here.
started?
It's
Perfect.
already
It's already
somewhere.
signed, but sitting by me
I'll grab it at the end.
in the safe
Thank you.
spot.
Awesome.
All right, so we have that going around. This is
Thank
crazy.
you.
Okay,
Highly guarded.
okay, so the next on the agenda, we're gonna also discuss in non-public, which is the ILSSA proposed contract summary.
And that's just for negotiations.
Negotiations, okay? So that one we're also gonna discuss in. Okay. The next on the agenda, it looks like we're doing old business, strategic plan, community nights.
So I have been making some progress, but I am looking to change the date. Communication to the community, and I want to give enough time for people to be involved. So I would like to change the date to Thursday, December 14th from 5 to 8.
Okay.
Where?
We will be at the middle high school.
Auditorium?
The auditorium is pretty well booked for December, so we'll be using the cafeteria, library, and other locations.
And tell me the time again.
From 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and we will feed people.
Is that a Thursday?
It is.
It's Thursday, the 14th. Okay.
You don't have to, don't worry.
We had an SAU and Ashland board meeting.
On the 14th?
I believe so. Okay, but I'll double check.
I thought it was the
Okay.
20th.
The 20th is.
That's the,
Yeah, but I don't know, okay, we'll
Yeah.
look at that.
Okay.
But I'm going to, this was the best date related to this facility, so, and I hope to get that all out this week so that we can get people activated to be part of it.
how are we going to get it out?
So we are going to be reaching out to our community partners to see if they will help us distribute. We often distribute for our community partners. So they have lists of community members who don't have children in school. We'll also be using the paper. We'll be putting it on our website. So trying to to get as, many different avenues as we can so that we are reaching the whole community and not just people with children in school.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
Locker room, athletic trainer space, specialized learning spaces, update. That's attachment E.
Yes, so we do want to, we have a specialized learning spaces in the athletic trainer space. We have a drawing for you, and I think we did sit with the professional staff that use that space. So the OT, the classroom teacher, and the director of student services had a chance to look at a couple versions, and this is the version that we are proposing for this space, and maybe I will try to do my best. Okay,
Right.
so that's locker room. Can we go to the other?
The other document?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Thanks.
Life skills and weight.
Perfect.
Okay.
So this is the weight room area that we currently have. So right now, the way that the life skills classroom is, it kind of runs this way.
Yep.
This is changing that space around. It's putting the athletic trainer space in part of the weight room as well as part of what's the current life skills classroom. It's then creating the therapy space, so that's for physical therapy, occupational therapy. If there's some specific needs for a student that can be met using a small space where they may need a large therapy bed to be able to work on. Then it's taking, kind of reconfiguring the life skills room and what has been a therapy space that has been kind of really cramped into a new life skills area. And it is also taking what right now kind of goes this way, I think it goes more like this, is the Laker Learning Lab, which is where we have support for students who have emotional and behavioral needs. And we don't need as big of a space. So taking from that to create an accessible bathroom, that is a single restroom, and then just kind of creating a smaller learning environment which fits the needs of the students there. So it really, it's just taken the space and just reorganized it primarily. So I wanted to bring that to your attention and just, I think our conversations have included that we certainly anticipate bringing forward a school district budget that is increased. Primarily, we have a number of special education needs. I'm not sure about timing that the board wants to think about for the locker room and this work. I have spoken with the Moulton Borough School District, and they are more than willing and happy to accommodate at some point the summer theater if needed. So that's a potential option.
Are these projects, the locker room and this one,
They could be separated. They could
but
be
not
one.
economically?
It's sometimes when you have, sometimes it works well when you have one big project. Sometimes if you want to spread it out over a period of time, breaking it into two is sometimes helpful. Something that Mr. Swanker and I have been talking about is in the past, we really have operated that we would not qualify for bonding because of a concern relative to retirement benefits that are considered unfunded liabilities. But we haven't talked to anybody about bonding in a very long time.
And we're seeing bonding going on around the schools.
So we're going to, I think it's tomorrow or Thursday. I think it's a New Hampshire
Municipal bond.
New Hampshire Municipal Bond. We're going to sit down with them. I don't know a whole lot about it, so we're going to start with asking a lot of questions, and that might be a more smooth way to do this. So I think it's maybe stay tuned. I just want to update you where we are.
That's a big-
Certainly if you have
that's a
any,
Big issue, that's a big change from
Yeah.
our feeling of not
right.
even considering that
And-
happening.
And it may not be the direction to go, but I think it's worth at least exploring.
Well, philosophically, it has to be. I mean, these are gonna be facilities that are used over the next 30, 40 years. We have two choices. We can allow our taxpayers to pay it over that period of time, or we can burden the current.
Right. And so bonding is a nice way to smooth it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the green dots and the little circles with like a seagull inside of them?
Oh, I think those are soft cushions.
Okay.
The architect, I think, put them as like bean bags.
Okay.
So,
And the green dots?
I think that,
I can't see any.
I think,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
the green
Yeah.
dots.
I think those are
I think
chairs.
it's like
the
soft
seagull things are
seating. I don't think
chairs.
it's,
The seagull things might be chairs?
yeah, those might be kind of a different kind of chair, and these might be bean bags.
Okay.
I think.
You know what that might be, since this is possibly never mind, I'll take it back.
So there is an electrical, so this would create a nice enclosure of that.
Yeah, I
Kind
was
of like,
Equal.
it's like in the middle of the space. The other
I didn't know
thing,
if this was an exercise wall.
oh, maybe. The other thought was, and I think this is an easy change, but maybe just closing in that little space here, because oftentimes it's just nice to have a sensory break area for students who might become overstimulated.
So like a little wall.
Just a small, kind of
Wall,
yep.
something. Yeah.
be able to get it a little quieter, dim the lights. So that is our progress. We are stopping architectural services so that we don't utilize any more of the money that was set aside. And I think it's, as a next step, learning more about bonding.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, well, we have Craig and then you. How's that?
Now, Charlie, you go ahead.
You want to go ahead? Go ahead, Charlie.
thank you, Mr. Baker. Just from our leadership meeting last Thursday, Mary, I thought you wanted to get a sense of timing from the board at this meeting, whether this was something we wanted to pursue for next year or kick it down the road for an additional year due to some of the other issues that are going on.
Mr. Swanger then brought up bonding, that I think maybe before the board makes a decision, it might be helpful just to have that information.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to make sure we had that covered.
But my hope is at the December meeting, we will have enough information for the board to maybe at that point say, you know what, let's delay, or gee, if we do qualify for bonding and it's a small amount over X period of time, maybe it's something the board would want to consider.
No, Craig.
Yes, I have a question about the options. So the blue and white drawing that we have that shows the original proposed locker room site
Yes.
and the new proposed, there's 3 items on that page: the proposed locker rooms, the proposed staff showers, and the proposed trainer space. So the proposed trainer space is involved in the second item that we looked at, but I still don't see an option of where to put these proposed staff showers anywhere.
So that would be in the current faculty space. So the reality is that space at night is empty.
Okay.
So, and that's, our games are after school hours and so forth. So it would be a way of reworking the current faculty space to have these pieces so that we can maximize that square
Okay,
footage.
so the faculty space isn't shown anywhere here.
Correct.
Okay, so we have a
It's a
spot
section
for
of it.
item 2, but just not shown.
Yeah.
Okay, very well, thank you.
And when he did do this, it was where would the athletic trainer space go? And this did allow him to find that spot.
All right, do we have any public input?
I don't have any.
None? None here. So I think we can close the public input at 6:44, public comment section. Okay. Correspondence, superintendent, board secretary, board members, no? Okay. We are going to be moving into the non-public session due to RSA 91A3 2C, this includes matters in which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board. Also, RSA 91A32D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real estate or personal property, which if discussed in public would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general committee. Guess
So
we need
moved.
to- We need to poll the board, right?
Yep, I'm prepared to do that. I wrote down everybody's name. Mr. Porter Zuckerman,
Yes.
Ms. Balaj,
I'm Miss Connolly now, Charlie.
Ms.
But yes.
Connolly,
There you go.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
Ms. Merrill,
Yes.
Mr. Billings.
Yes.
I am yes as well.
And Mr. Hanson, for the record, will you indicate where you are and if anybody else is with you?
You're muted, Charlie.
Just thinking about it.
Some people might suggest that's the best way to have me. Yeah, I'm here by myself.
At home, correct?
Yes, I'm at home.
Okay,
So we're in non-public.
so we are in non-public. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.